Good morning and welcome to the market forecast. My name is John Hoagland. Thanks for trusting me with your time. It is Monday, January the 4th, 2021. Happy New Year, everyone. It always seems like a fresh start at the beginning of the year. We've got a whole year ahead of us. I always seem to get a little bit ahead of myself, a little bit over my skis early in the year because I feel like I've got to get a lot accomplished. But we do have lots of time. Let's try and remain patient, and let's put together a great year for everybody this year. Hopefully you've had a restful, peaceful, happy, and healthy holiday season. Hopefully you're rested and ready for the challenges of the new year, and it appears that there are going to be many, as there always are in futures trading and in Forex trading. As usual, starting with the economic numbers this morning at 8:45, we have the PMI manufacturing final number coming out. Probably not going to be overly impactful. 9 o'clock Central this morning. Construction spending due out 9 o'clock a.m. this morning. It is somewhat of a busy week for the first week of the year here. We have the Georgia runoffs tomorrow. The Atlanta Fed President Bostic is speaking today at 9 a.m., something we're probably going to want to keep our eyes and ears a little bit tuned to. We have the FOMC minutes on Wednesday at 1 o'clock Central, and the unemployment numbers due out 7:30 a.m. on Friday. On top of all of that, Congress counts the votes of the Electoral College on Wednesday, January the 6th. So lots of headline risks. There were no real major market state changes in the last couple of weeks while we've been away, and so we're kind of picking up where we left off before the holidays here. It seems we've got some markets already moving this morning. Obviously, if you're looking at our metals markets, metals are really moving to the upside this morning. The dollar off a little bit this morning. So we've got some opportunities. We're going to take a look at those very shortly. Remember, headline risks are readily available. Keep your eyes and ears open. Again, you're probably going to see these changes or these things happening in the markets before you're going to be able to catch them on any wire service or anything like that. So just make sure you are, as always, using stops to protect yourself. U.S. equities markets, as we can see this morning, already continuing higher, perhaps on vaccine hopes, perhaps on potential economic rebound because of the vaccine hopes. For whatever reason, our equities just keep marching to the upside. The crude market this morning, an interesting overnight activity. OPEC had a meeting, and they've agreed to keep current output restrictions for another month. So we had a little nice spike to the upside last night in crude oil as that news came out, kind of falling back into range now. We're going to take a look at that very shortly. Make sure you like, share, comment, question, feedback, and heckling. I've got the let me put this up there. I've got the link to register for group coaching on Wednesday, 1 o'clock Central Time. That is going to be, of course, when the FOMC minutes come out. So I'll probably delay the beginning of it until about 1:05. But come and check out the group coaching session on Wednesday, working with the good Dr. Menaker on continuing some of the market therapy sessions that we have been doing. So we'll be looking forward to that in the coming year. We're always going to be looking to improve. As always, we improve through your feedback and your ideas. So make sure you let us know what you need. We're going to be adding some another market here, I think, to the market forecast and the recap. We're looking at doing the 10-year note, looking at starting to add some market profile information into the market forecast as well. Just look for these things to occur over a little bit of time. I've got a little bit of different artwork behind me now, and we are looking forward to, again, another great year. As always, there's always something that is going to be a little bit of a hiccup, and right now I am losing my charts, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to get those up right before we go into the charts. But I always like to say good morning to everybody, and lots of folks here today. It's great to see everybody back. Great to see everybody back in action. And it is your success that we are looking forward to. Rocker, you win the prize today. First one in the room. Welcome back. Felix, Danielle, great to be back. Agreed. Andrea, good to see you. Will, Kevin, MS Capital, Vladislav, Charles, good morning and Happy New Year to you as well. And Caesar, Happy New Year. Josiah, good morning. Troy, good morning. Tanya, Happy New Year. Good to see you, Tanya. Angelina, good to see you. Tanya had to stop in to say, thanks, Hogue, with your help in our coaching sessions, past step one. Awesome, Tanya. So happy to hear that. Looking forward to seeing your continued success. And please keep me, keep me abreast of how your situation is going. I'm looking forward to seeing you getting funded here very soon. Main Point Big Ideas. Good to see you, Tim G, Esteban, John. Good to see you, JD. Last time I saw you was over a pizza. Tanya is saying good morning to JD. Mike, good morning. Hey, that looks like Dan the man Hodgman. Looks like you're going to be doing the recap today for us. Excellent. Justin Day Trades, good morning. Nick Mo, good morning, Tanya. Good morning, Shane, Angel, Brian, Allen, Sharon, Turner, and Vast West. If I see a couple of new names there, welcome to the Market Forecast. Kevin Guy, good to see everybody. Bill, good to see you. We're welcome to the Market Forecast. Looking forward to another great year. I've got a couple of interesting things I'm going to be showing you through the week that I've kind of compiled over the last year, and it's going to see see how things kind of go. I'm going to be adding some more of the artwork. I think what I should do is probably put all my trading artwork up in my office, and we'll do an office tour one of these days. I think we'll look forward to doing that. Matthew, good to see you. Dream Team Institutional, Happy New Year to you as well. Dimitri, good to see you. Bill Gates, 4 a.m. here. Love to see the Zoom webinar at 1, but yeah, that's pretty early. Maybe get up and come to it once. But that is pretty early. Maybe you'll be up one of these days and you'll check it out. Okay, so without further ado, let's check out the charts. Let me make sure I have them up and as stable as I can get them. And here we go. All right. So, crude oil. I don't have it up here yet. Here we go. Crude oil. There we go. Okay. So, pretty good jump to the upside yesterday as the OPEC spike, I'm calling it. It seems to be having trouble maintaining price at higher levels. We've got some pretty big space above here. This move to the upside has been relatively strong. It still seems to be relatively strong as our areas of balance are not overlapping. We're still seeing gaps between them, so there may be some continuation to the upside as we are kind of seeing in open interest adding 10,000 estimated on Thursday. A very slow day, and a slow day to add 10,000 contracts in open interest. I find that a little bit interesting. Open increase that, it's kind of indicating potential movement to the upside or continuation to the upside. Our areas of balance are getting closer together, so I'm suspecting we're going to see some sort of pullback sometime soon here. What does that mean for us in the day time frame here? On the 30-minute chart here, I've kind of taken the liberty of just kind of totaling most of last week's activity here. 1, 2, 3, 4, so 4 days last week. And just seeing where the value area is of that. So last night, just kind of meandering around that value high from the last 4 sessions from last week. We got a big spike to the upside when the OPEC announced they weren't going to be increasing production, right back into value from yesterday, value from last week, and now seemingly rejecting that value right here on the open. It looks as though our opening is probably not neither the high nor the low. 4,900 is a previous weekly kickoff level. We can see how it supported price here. It resisted price here, seems to be resisting again, might be offering an opportunity. My initial notes here was when we were trading back in value from yesterday and inside last week, suggesting we stay a little bit patient. Right now, we've opened with a gap to the upside, so we're dealing with gap rules. I don't see that we have any large overnight inventory to be concerned about or be able to use to our advantage today. So again, I'm going to try and stay a little bit patient. I'm going to watch this 4,900 level for an opportunity. I'm going to watch value high from last week also for a possible area of execution. Right now, it appears as though the market is attempting to close that gap and doing so relatively early. But if we cannot close that gap, we may see some more continuation to the upside. Now looking into the E-mini S&Ps, here's the daily. We cannot fight directional markets. Okay, this market has been directional, well, for the 38 years that I've been seeing it. Yes, there are corrections and adjustments, but when there is no new bad news, the memories of traders are very short, and the market just continues to grind higher. We added 25,000 in open interest on Thursday. A very slow day. Pretty decent volume for that slow day last Thursday. And it's continuing to see the market moving higher. Now, I've got a measured move up here at 37.85, which is the weekly kickoff high, but I think we're kind of getting into more of a zone. Once we put in this measured move up here, we did put in a lower low, and there go our charts. Let's get those back up. This just makes me crazy. I have no idea why it chooses to do this. But for some reason, once in a while, it just likes to give me a hard time. But that's technology. I do get attacked by it quite often. So, all right, where was I here? This measured move, I think we're in kind of a measured move zone at our overnight high as well as our 37.85 weekly kickoff high. I'll be watching to see if there's some decent resistance up here. Remember, again, there is a lot of headline risks in these markets, so make sure you are using stops. We always want to be using stops to protect ourselves. Okay, so overnight settlement is right here, 37.4875. We've got some overnight longs that seem to be kind of getting out here a little bit prior to the opening, but we are opening with a gap. Another thing is we have just in our overnight today put in another all-time high in the overnight session. The market tends not to let that happen. So I'm going to be looking for a continuation, perhaps higher, at some point in the regular trading hour session to put in a high before we start looking to kind of correct some weaknesses that are far below this market. So we should be watching the open. Watch the opening range. The opening range, because we're out of range and out of value, we're opening out of balance, and the opening range may provide us some early opportunities here to be able to recognize early buyer or seller control. If we can't close the gap, again, don't fight a directional market. Or if we can't close the gap, we're going to be looking for opportunities to buy this market on weakness. As long as that continues to work, we don't know when that's going to change, so we just have to trade our hypotheses until they break. Now, here we are in the Nasdaq. Upside structure, again, remains encouraged by open interest gain Thursday, 2,900 additional open interest on a continuation to the upside. Headline risks remain. Of course, we have the Georgia runoff. We have the Electoral College. There's a lot going on this week we have to keep an eye on. But the market is just continuing to march itself to the upside and doing so with some resolve. So What does that look like on the 30-minute chart? Well, again, settlement is here. 1288.5, 12,885.5 settlement right here. The market has accumulated some overnight longs here. It is again put in a new all-time high in the overnight session. That's a tendency that the market does not like. Okay, there's a higher probability that the all-time high will occur in a regular trading hour session when all of the participants are available. So, all right, so where am I here? Well, again, we're just going to be looking at what are we looking at this morning in short time frame. Well, we're looking at a gap. We've got a gap above Friday or Thursday's high, I should say. And if we can't close the gap, we're going to continue to look for opportunities to the upside. Now, both in the S&Ps and in the Nasdaq, we've got a little bit of a gap down here that's going to be a little bit of a structure weakness. If we do tend to if we start to move to the downside and we can get into some decent shorts, I'll look for a gap close down to, well, where is that? Right about here, 12,724 in the Nasdaq. In the S&Ps, we're looking at this high right here, which is, I got my profile messed up there, but this high is 3708. So if we do tend to look for somewhat of a downward move, those gap closes would be good targets for profits, if you will. So let's take a look at gold now. Metals in general benefiting from the weakness in the dollar, which, by the way, I don't think I mentioned, is below 90. It's at 89.55, the dollar index, and seems to be getting pretty comfortable down below that 90 level. And let me get my charts back again. Jeez, this is just crazy. New year, I thought maybe I'd be able to get away with this, but apparently not. All right, so now we're back. So we see gold. It's already above weekly kickoff high. We see the market on really decent volume already this morning, usurping the volume from pretty much last week, any day last week. So we're seeing some money coming into this market. On Thursday, we had a loss of 700 in open interest, which wasn't necessarily beneficial to an upside move, but now we're in a breakout type of situation. We had this 1908 level, if you remember. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, 1908, which was a previous weekly kickoff level that we held above. Now we're holding above our weekly kickoff level here. We've got a huge gap to the upside, lots of overnight longs here. Not really looking for any kind of resistance. Well, we've got this 1951, 52 level up here, which was a previous weekly kickoff level, which may provide an opportunity for us. But I don't want to fight a market that is directional in any time frame. And this market is certainly directional in the day time frame, in the short time frame. Here's our gap. Okay, we have a weekend gap, we have a daytime gap. We have the market moving to and through and then finding support at that 1924 weekly kickoff level. And the market seems intent on looking for that next important inflection level up at 1950. Gap rules. Pretty low probability of us closing this gap in gold today without some sort of change, some sort of news, something to happen to make that change occur. All right, so we've got our euro now. Let's take a look-see. Upside structure, maybe starting to show signs of tiring. What makes me say that as well? We have an area of balance here. We have an area of balance here. Now we have an area of balance here and an area of balance here. If I were to be a betting man, I'd say that we're starting to overlap our areas of balance. That's what markets do, even in directional. They go and then they rest, and then they go and then they rest. When these rest areas become closer together, it tells me that there may be an opportunity for us to perhaps start to look for ways to sell strength in this market. Now, there's a little bit of a caveat to that this morning. We've got some pretty exact highs here, okay? These exact highs are shorter time frame levels where, hey, short time frame traders say, well, we couldn't get there before. We couldn't get through there before. Let's try it again. And they're going to continue to do that until it breaks. And then, I think we'll either see continuation to the upside, or if that break fails and comes back down below this level, then we might see a little bit of a pullback. We've got a pretty decent rally going here in the euro and in many of the currencies as the dollar continues to weaken. Here's the 30-minute chart. Settlement all the way down here, 122.46. Lots of overnight longs here, no gap. The market opened and filled the gap right away. So that tells me this area up here where we were seeing those three very close highs, we've got another one right here. Okay, so we're going to be seeing probably some of these overnight longs getting out up here against this level. Where the market goes from that point is largely, well, we don't know, but it's going to give us the opportunity, if we can break out above this level, possible opportunity for continuation to the upside. If we can't take out these highs and we start taking to the downside, we may see some of these overnight longs kind of getting out of this market and getting out of those longs and moving price back towards settlement, or at least the value area from Thursday, and give us an opportunity to look for the market at a weaker level. One last time, I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to restart everything and figure out why this continues to occur. Thought I had it fixed last 2 weeks ago, and apparently I did not. But here we are. Here's the Japanese yen. We'll go very quickly through this. Overnight test of weekly kickoff high. The slow grind higher seems to be relatively healthy. It didn't add any open interest on Thursday. Lost about 400, but that's not a shocking number. Just looking for where the buyers are going to come back into this market. And weekly kickoff low would be an obvious spot. Take a look at the 30-minute chart. And so you see the settlement all the way down here, 96.89, and we got a little bit ahead of ourselves up against some resistance with that weekly kickoff high. A lot of our overnight longs capitulating, taking market right back, closing the gap to value high from Thursday. Interesting area here, very target-rich area down here, down by settlement, if I'm going to be looking for any kind of longs. So try and stay patient in the Japanese yen today. It's the one market that is kind of returning back into and perhaps accepting value from Thursday. All right, so it is such a pleasure to be back with everybody. It's so nice to see everybody, and thank you all for the hellos and the comments, and looking forward to seeing. Maybe you should look at your astro chart. Maybe give us some idea. Yes, technology. Well, it seems to be somewhat of an age thing, at least for me. I was at the very beginning of computers. I was kind of out of school and working on the trading floor, and I, I've never been. Technology's never really agreed with me that much, so it may be an astrological thing, but I'm learning more and more about it, and I will get this figured out. So looking forward to a great trading day. Welcome back. Another great year coming. Lots of stuff coming your way in the forecast and the recap and all of the other live and recorded things that we do. What else do I have to tell you? I don't know. There's going to be something. Yes, age is just a number. Well, when you're trying to teach an 89-year-old mom how to get into a Zoom meeting, it's a number. It was a 45-minute exercise and a little bit of frustration, but we got it. We got it. So, all right, get out there and profit today. I'm going to take my deep breath. Whew. So happy to be back with you. I know my family's happy to have me back working. I think a couple of more days, and I may have driven them crazy. So now I'm driving you crazy. Get out there and profit. Trade well today. I think we're going to see Dan for the recap today. Looking forward to seeing him. Haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. Trade well today.